Salutare și bine ai revenit pe canalul StiriCrypto, canal la care te-ai abonat ca să afli ultimele noutăți cu privire la Bitcoin și la piața criptografică. Dacă ai vizionat clipul și ți-a fost util, nu uita să dai like. Mulțumesc! Astăzi vom afla părerea antreprenorului și investitorului Anthony Pompliano, care a construit și vândut numeroase companii. El a condus echipe de dezvoltare la Facebook și Snapchat și a investit peste 100 de milioane de dolari în companii tehnologice aflate la început. De asemenea, el produce ziarul Crypto Off the Chain. El a declarat pentru canalul de știri Fox News că Bitcoin va ajunge în anul 2021 la valoarea de 100.000 de dolari și încă a rămas încrezător în această predicție pentru anul următor. Acum, să fiu sincer, Bitcoin a avut un an super bun, fiind încă 66% pe plus față de anul trecut pe vremea aceasta. Încă un lucru cu care aș mai fi de acord cu Pompliano ar fi că majoritatea dintre holderii experimentați în Bitcoin nu sunt dispuși să vândă decât dacă prețul ar avea o creștere spectaculoasă, cum ar fi cea de 100.000 de dolari. Gândiți-vă la 2017, când prețul Bitcoin a crescut de la 1.000 la 20.000 în doar un singur an. În continuare, am să vă las un clip cu întreaga declarație a lui Pompliano. Nu uitați să-mi lăsați părerea voastră în comentarii. Zi verde tuturor!
Bitcoin going way more mainstream. Here in a Fox Business exclusive, Anthony joins us with his 2022 crypto world predictions. Pomp, happy holidays. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, Bitcoin 100,000 per coin did not happen. You already made that prediction, didn't come to pass. Go out on a limb if you're ready and call it for 2022, or are you prepared to raise that number even higher for next year?
Well, the first thing I'll say is the year's not over yet. Obviously, there's about 10 days left. What we know is that at the end of the year, Bitcoin usually runs pretty significantly. Last year, it had almost a 50% increase in price. So even if that was to happen this year, unlikely to get to the 100K, but I wouldn't be surprised if we either consolidate kind of sideways or there is some sort of move upwards. So don't say it's over yet, but definitely kind of a big move would have to occur for that to happen. In terms of 2022, I think what we're watching is these bull markets that are historically tied to the Bitcoin halving. That seems to be getting elongated here, and so what I expect is that we continue this bull market that we're in. Bitcoin, obviously, at the last halving was around $8,500 or so. Now trading just under 50,000. I think that'll just kind of continue into Q1. I think the big question that a lot of people have across the industry is just how high is that blow off top? Do we see kind of low six-figure Bitcoin or something higher? I don't think anyone actually knows yet, but that's really what I think a lot of people in the industry are paying attention to, is when we kind of get that next second leg of the bull market like we have had in the past. How high does it go? That's anyone's guess at this point.
Okay, so you're saying, let's just be clear, there's still a few more days left in 2021. We could see a melt up, and you do believe it'll be six figures by next year?
Yeah, I definitely think that we will see six-figure Bitcoin before the end of this bull market. So call that into Q1 or Q2. The question is just how big of a number, right? I think that 100K has been a number that a lot of people have thrown around. It's, frankly, just a nice round number. And two is there's a lot of kind of extrapolating what's happened in previous bull markets out to this one. Now, there's this other idea my friend Pete Rizzo at Bitcoin Magazine has talked a lot about, in terms of you almost need a shocking number to really get people to part with their Bitcoin. So if you go back to 2017, we went from $1,000 to $20,000 Bitcoin price in a single year. And I don't think very many people that year thought we would hit $20,000, right? 10,000 was kind of the number that people had targeted. It went to 20,000. That was such a big, shocking number in comparison that people ended up kind of liquidating their Bitcoin position. And so I think that that's really what we're going to have to see.
We're talking so much about Bitcoin, Anthony, and oh, hold on. I just want to check and make sure the shot. Okay, there it goes. All right. We're talking so much about Bitcoin, but let's talk about sort of the runner-up to Miss America. Ethereum has sort of been the de facto number two, if not number one, according to some really big fans of Ether. But you're starting to hear people talk a lot about Polkadot. I mean, Deutsche Telekom has just made a big bet on Polkadot, and they've bought a whole bunch of it to back that up. Elon Musk, in his big cover story in Time magazine, said while he thinks Bitcoin's great, he doesn't think it is the one that will replace the US dollar. In fact, he said that would probably be better suited to Dogecoin. What do you say to both of those issues?
Yeah, I think that what's important is to kind of understand the market structure. So basically, I break it down, and there's two different things occurring. One is there's a monetary revolution happening, and then the second is that there's a technology revolution. The monetary revolution, I think most people in the market clearly understand that Bitcoin is winning so far and likely to continue to win. If you think in your life, you are a fiat currency maximalist. You live in the US, you get paid in dollars, you save in dollars, you invest in dollar denominated assets, you pay your taxes in dollars. So the natural state of a monetary asset is maximalism. I think Bitcoin is winning there as kind of that monetary revolution winner. Now, there's a technology revolution underway as well, and that's where you get into all the smart contract platforms and a number of the different assets that you talked about. And the challenge with those things is that technology is not a maximalistic end state, right? If you think in the legacy world, we have iOS and Android. We have various scripting languages. We have different database technologies that people use, et cetera. And so I think there's going to be a ton of competition, lots of competition on performance, things like throughput and fees, but also lots of, kind of marketing competition. Who can actually convince people that they have the better solution? And so there's a monetary revolution and a technology revolution.
Front?
I frankly don't think we
front lead there.
I think that the earlier movers, things like Ethereum, et cetera, obviously have the lead today, both by market cap users, et cetera. They kind of have a first mover advantage. And the big question that people who are focused on that technology revolution part of the industry, they're asking themselves, is first mover enough? Or can some of these other players come up and kind of compete on a global scale? Okay. I spend most of my time really focused on the monetary revolution, but it's fascinating to watch the technology revolution play out as well.
Got it. We got to predict about regulation. Gary Gensler, who of course is the head of the SEC, has given a lot of sizzle and bluster about regulation, but we haven't seen stake yet. Not that you guys want to see any heavier regulation, but what do you predict for 2021, 2022? We didn't get to see a spot Bitcoin ETF, but we did get approval for Bitcoin futures ETFs. What do you think is going to happen with regulation and how it'll all gel together?
Yeah, I tend to think that what we're watching happen here is the builders of the industries, the investors of the industry, they're trying to figure it out, and so are regulators as well. And part of this is that it's moving so quickly to understand the technology, et cetera, is one big challenge. And then the second is an agreement in terms of what the actual regulation should be. I generally think that we've got a lot of good faith actors, people trying to figure out what the right solutions are. And what they want to do is they want to encourage innovation. They want to encourage economic prosperity and job creation in the US, but they also want to put some guidelines in place. And so I think the key piece is Bitcoin right now has already clearly been stated it is not a security, and so that's got to sign off. Now what happens to everything else, we'll see in 2022, but I do think we'll get some solutions there over the next year.
Anthony, it is great to see you. Have a great holiday, and we'd love to see you in 2022 to see if any of this comes to pass or not.